You are listening to the Willpower Podcast. Welcome to the show. I am Will Holdren, and I talk with some of the most influential CEOs, entrepreneurial leaders, and thought leaders to try and reveal the secrets that has led to their success. I believe that with the right knowledge and mindset, you can do anything you set your mind to. So if you want to learn how to change your life for the better, if you want to learn how millionaires actually became wealthy, or if you want to develop and start your own business from the ground up with the right knowledge to help you, then you are in the right place because this is the Willpower Podcast. How's it going, everyone? My name is Will Holdren, and I am the host of the Willpower Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, and her name is Renee Funk. And Renee is a 5-time icon agent, and she's a team leader with EXP, and she's based out of Florida. So it's an honor and a half her on here today. So Renee, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, hello there, everyone. Oh my goodness, Will, thank you so much for having me. What a treat when you reached out. I was really grateful that you reached out and said hello.
Of course, my pleasure. I also recently just joined EXP, so I got to get to know some of the top producers and see what they're doing out there. So I'm excited for this interview.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, appreciate it. And to start off, I kind of want to go into your childhood a little bit, so you can kind of talk about what your childhood was like and how it kind of helped turn you into who you are today.
Where would you like me to start?
What's your family, childhood, growing up, what you did, that kind of stuff, first couple jobs, and how you got into real estate?
Well, I was born in, no, I'm kidding. So how I got into real estate is a bit of kicking and screaming. You may have heard a story in the industry before where many of us in the real estate industry don't necessarily realize we're going to end up in the industry. And the fact that I am in the real estate industry has turned out to be my husband's forever I told you so, because he was right. I will forever be grateful that my husband, Jeff, said, you really got to look at this real estate thing with me. Come on, jump in. And it took me a few years to warm up to the idea. I had previously been in the corporate world, worked in hospitality, and really focused time in business around customer service. And when Jeff said, come on in, jump in with both feet, it took me a while. But I got there, and now I am so incredibly happy. The real estate industry is, in my opinion, one of the most magical industries that provides those of us in the industry the most amazing opportunity to build business in areas that we're passionate about, while helping our community purchase the most important asset where they're going to literally build memories. And it is something we should all take very seriously. And it is something I'm really proud to be a part.
100%. It's definitely an amazing industry. And I love the unlimited potential of income, and depending on how hard you want to work and what you want to do, which is the amazing part about it, just entrepreneurship in general and that aspect of it. And I also love that you said you were also in the customer service industry pretty much before you got into real estate. And on my podcast, I interview a lot of these real estate professionals, and a lot of them are actually like bartenders, people in the restaurant industry. So they also have that customer service background, and it's really a relationship business. And that kind of proves how people that have that kind of knowledge coming into it kind of like have a head start and kind of understand what it's going to take in order to become successful in that industry, which is super cool.
Those with customer service background, hospitality background, we all have a leg up in the industry. When we come to the industry understanding the importance of customer service, and we have the ability to blend our focus of customer service with great technology, that's where the real magic happens. Because in the real estate industry, we hear often, how important is the technology? What's your tech stack? What are you focused on to make sure you're technologically savvy as an organization, as an agent, as a brokerage, as a team? That's great and super important. And you must have that as an arm of focus in your business. But the ones that come with the focus on customer service, and the ones that realize that some may say the old-fashioned methods of putting relationships first are important, those are the agents who really soar and have the ability to look at the industry in a very different way. And I didn't realize that when I first entered into the industry, but now whenever I meet an agent who's coming from hospitality or customer service, I get all excited, right? Like some of our favorite agents, even over the last couple of years, have been those that have come over from Walt Disney World. I'm in Orlando, so we have a team in Orlando, and Those who make that leap and have that great training, sky's the limit.
Yep. Just like you're talking about, it's a people business, and the more you understand people, the better you're going to be at it. And so when you first jumped into real estate, obviously you said your husband kind of persuaded you over time. You eventually said, okay, let's do it. So what were some of the hardships that you had to overcome to become successful in the first couple of years, just jumping right into the real estate industry off the bat?
Some of the hardships would be what I feel is the number one trap agents fall into when they enter the industry is all of the outside entities, companies, marketing that are marketed to realtors. And it appears as though these traps are shiny objects that will be the quick resolution to here's a transaction on a platter. And it's very easy for agents as they enter into the industry, as agents are at a phase of scaling their business. It's very easy for us all to be distracted by those traps of, here, I'm going to sell you, realtor, the quick fix to the next level that you're seeking to achieve in the real estate industry. And the reality is, one of the best things we can do is stay head down, understand what our initiatives are, understand the direction that we're heading as business owners, and know that there is no quick fix. It is all about earning the relationships, coming from contribution, and it's that simple. And all the quick fixes and the, here you go, this is going to change your world. Here's the easy button for social media. Here's the easy button for, leads. Earn the relationship, come from contribution. It's that simple.
100%. And it's also important to learn how to do the whole process, just so you have that kind of understanding going into the industry. And just add on the point, I'm just curious, do you have any VAs or anything like that you help or that you use throughout your process nowadays?
We do have a couple of VAs, and we're looking to actually double that here in the next 30 to 60 days. And for context on our team, my husband was in the real estate industry. He's been in the industry over 20 years. I've joined his forces about 8 years ago. We created a team with our first agent. So 6 years ago, it was Jeff, myself, and one agent. Wow. We, over a 2-year period, took a leap up to about 4 to 6 agents. 4 years ago, we had 4 agents, and we just proudly in Orlando, we have 103 agents. Wow. We run a branch office with eXp Realty. And in 2021, those 103 agents closed $258 million worth of real estate. Wow. I still also have a team within that office that we operate, and we are growing and thriving and really focused on the transaction. So in that, to your point about VAs and support staff, we've always operated a very lean machine. We operate on very tight budgets, very low budgets, and the focus is to increase net for us, for our agents, and to teach our agents how to generate business organically, generate business based on relationship, and generate their business in a way that sustains them on and on and on.
Wow, that is amazing. Congrats on that success from growing to what you guys started out with, like 4 people and now to over 100 in the Orlando market. That is pretty impressive. So congrats.
It's the agents. It's who we're all with, right? Like, I mean, this train moving this fast isn't even about Jeff and I. It's about the collective effort of all the agents coming together and saying, we see the North Star, we're focused on the same things, and we're ready to grow together.
100%. That is super inspiring, super impressive as well. And so when agents do come onto your team, like what are some of the most important things you try to get through them in that first couple of years that they're with you guys? Like what are the main things you try to teach them? I know you're talking about leads before and trying to generate them organically, but other things along that note, what would you say?
One of the most important aspects of a potential team member when they're considering coming on board is grit. Must have grit. The skill set of being a realtor, that's a teachable skill set. Sales, teachable skill set. Having the grit to be a business owner and an entrepreneur, as you mentioned, Will, that's a whole different ballgame. And in most cases, I haven't figured it out yet. It's not teachable, right? You either have the grit to understand what it's going to take to be a business owner. Every single realtor is their own business owner.
Yep.
And that's not something that is teachable. It has to come from within. So our philosophy as we continue to grow has always been making sure that agents understand what it means to have a diversified business. Through what Jeff and I first built together and continue to build, there's multiple pipelines of lead sources and business that we can provide, which is great. But we are not team leaders that are building a team saying we only want you as a team member addicted to the lead sources we provide. That's self-serving for me. That's great as a team leader. That is not the best interest of the team member to create an opportunity and an environment for the team member to learn how to build their business. So our focus has been identifying grit, those who are looking to go to that next level and achieve their version of greatness in their world, and showing agents, guiding them through, leverage all of the pipelines of lead sources that we have. While you do that, we as team leaders should be focused on saying, you may start with the team and you may be very heavy on team generated sources, but our goal is to tip that scale and to make sure we teach you as a team member how to fish, not just hand you the fish. So over time, what that roadmap looks like is weaning off of team generated sources and helping them create their own business in the ways that will really make them skip to work each day. Yeah. It's not all about me as a team leader. It's everything about them. So our goal is taking that grit and determination and creating the most well-rounded business owners that we are able to as we continue to grow on our own journey.
Gotcha. I love how you help the new realtors get leads right at the bat too, and then eventually, like you're talking about, they're going to wean off of that and kind of learn how to generate their own leads. And so kind of going off of that point, do you ever get worried that these realtors are going to leave, like once they realize that they can just get all these leads on their own, or like what's the main reason for them to stay like with the team instead of branching out and doing their own thing?
Worried? Absolutely not. Celebrate? Absolutely. With a focus of creating strong business owners that can build sustainable businesses for themselves in their own ways that again, they're going to be excited to go to work every day, then our goal should be as team leaders to teach that, because we've traveled it. We know how to create a business in real estate. So now when I wake up every day, the goal is to replicate that for as many people as are seeking to achieve that same type of pathway. So am I ever worried someone's going to outgrow or leave? Absolutely not. In fact, we've had agents transition their way and graduate from the team environment, and we high five them and say, how can we help you get to your next level of greatness? Yep. That's what this is about. And also knowing that there are a lot of situations where, whether it's a broker owner or a team leader, they may not yet have reached that level that they're able to provide that opportunity. But I do encourage all team leaders and all broker owners that are responsible for growing agents' businesses that we truly look at roadmaps when they come to us as agents seeking guidance to grow, that we create a 12-month, 24-month, 36-month and beyond roadmap to, I'll provide business for you. We're going to get you going so you have an income. Now, here's the plan we have to continue to teach you to grow.
I love that. That is super cool, because I know a lot of people, or brokers specifically, that are like, I don't want to give away all my secrets because just in case the people are going to end up leaving me. And then here you are saying the exact opposite. Like, I want them to do as best as possible, because you guys are cultivating like a culture in your business where they're not even going to want to leave. They're going to want to be there. And then at that point, their lives are going to be the best agent possible because you guys are helping them get to that point in their life. So it's definitely like a different perspective, but yours is definitely much more effective in my opinion. So.
And the funny thing is even on our team in Orlando, I have one of our agents who's one of our top producers, 30 plus years in the industry, broker associate, Gretchen Carlson. She's a rock star agent. And, you know, many would say, and probably have said to her, why are you on a team? And you can ask her. In fact, I encourage you to. She's shared many times before that she's on a team because of the true camaraderie and because of the fact that we are looking to reach our hand out and say, how can we help you grow in what's in the ways that are most important to you as a business owner? Because it's not a one size fits all. It's not at all a one size fits all. Every agent can look at different ways to success. And that's another beauty of the industry is if you never want to door knock a day in your life, guess what? You don't have to. If you never want to call a FISBO a day in your life, you don't have to.
Yeah.
All of the opportunities in the real estate industry, whether you look at the major portals where you buy leads, whatever the lead source is, door knocking, FISBOs, online leads, organic SEO, Facebook ads, all the things. Guess what? They all work.
100%.
Every one of those sources, you can find rockstar agents that's their number one most important and valued pipeline. They all work. So the question is, what's going to identify the passion in the agent to help them build based on what they're excited about?
Yep. I agree 100%. And also, in my opinion, I think the industry has definitely changed in the past. Like, is more focused on being an independent agent, doing things on your own. But now, as we're going to the future, I mean, you got so many different brokerages like EXP and Keller Williams, where it's more team based and trying to grow that team and working with other people, and you can all benefit from helping each other instead of the past, where it's like cutthroat, where it's like, I want this deal and now you can't have it, kind of a thing. So, I think it's cool to see the industry shift in that direction as well. I think it's positive.
You're wise and smart to identify that. Will, it hasn't always been that way in the industry that I'm seeing signs as well. The industry's iterating and becoming more open because of the fact that I think we're all waking up to the more we give, the more we receive, and the more we share, the more we uplift those around us, whether it's our teams, our offices, the industry as a whole, whatever community we're a part of within this profession. There's a couple known facts. Number one, you can share everything anyway, because a very small percentage of people will get into execution and implementation. So tidbit, go ahead and share it all anyway. Like we do, share it all. Because what ends up happening is your vibe attracts your tribe. The more you share, then you're identifying whether it's your buyers or sellers, whether it's fellow realtors, in our case, who are looking to join a potential team or join eXp Realty with us. We're putting out there who we are in its full entirety. And those who choose to partner with us are partnering with us because they see in advance who we are and what we're focused on.
Yep.
And there's enough for everybody.
100%. Yeah. And you guys are growing a brand too. And just, being yourselves, and other people are going to, like you said, naturally attract to that agree with you guys on what you guys are doing. And that's how you grow in today's industry. So, and it's working for you guys, which is really super cool to see.
I remember a time though, and I also shared this before, that there was a time when even I didn't share everything. I've learned since then what happens. I used to feel that pressure in a previous office, in previous environments where you would keep everything close to the cuff and not want to share. I do understand where that comes from. It comes from, being fearful that what happens, you're going to have competition. Over time, I'm not sure if it's my age, I'm a lot older than you, Will, or if it's just versions of the industry that continues to grow. And it's certainly those that are around me that have poured into me, that have opened my eyes and know that we're in competition with no one. The only person we're in competition with is ourselves. I like having competition around me because it helps me rise up to the next level and see what's possible. And I like having people above me that are achieving more than me. That is inspiring. And I like that. But I'm not competing. I'm competing with me. And I really encourage agents to look at it that way.
I'm saying you can't compare yourself to someone that's 20 years ahead of you down the road and try to compete with them. You got to be where you're at and do one step at a time just to get to that next level.
But I do encourage you to identify who is ahead of you and try to put yourself in the same room, because success leaves clues. And when you find those people that are achieving what you would like to achieve, then I encourage you to go make sure you're in the same room at the same table and really take an audit about who's sitting at your table, how many deposits they're making into your world as compared to withdrawals, because we should all be sitting at a table, putting a lot of deposits in that room to help each other grow.
And that brings on another great point where everyone should have a mentor, no matter what industry you're going into, no matter what field you are. If you're an entrepreneur or not, you should have a mentor to help you out. And so I think that's a lot talked about topic, but in your experience, like, how can people find the right mentors to be in their life? Just like you're talking about, like, you want to surround yourself with those kinds of people that want to be helpful, want to be giving, that are more successful than you. So how do you actually go out there and find those people and put them in your life?
In the real estate industry, it's very easy to find those who are achieving at a higher level. Whether it's a YouTube person that you follow or someone on Instagram, or a top producer in your office, top producer in your organization, go to them, say to them, I would like to learn from you. And I want to let you know, not everyone will say yes, but those who are truly seeking to grow themselves will say yes, because when we're teachers, we're learning at a higher level. So when someone says to me, Renee, I would like to be a part of your world and learn from you, then my answer is 100% yes. And one of the drivers to why my answer is 100% yes is because I have a lot of people, mentors, leaders in my world who've chosen to pour into me. And my vow to all the leaders and mentors who pour into me and our agents is that I will cascade that knowledge out and make sure that as many people can understand and gain from what's being poured into me. And that is my vow and promise, and quite frankly, responsibility and commitment.
Right, 100%. I think another good point to add on to that is just to bring value to those kinds of people, because people that are ultra successful and are doing a million things, one thing they're short of is time, right? And that's something that anyone can provide to those other people, like work for them for free or something like that, just to be around them, just to gain that kind of knowledge. So I think that's also an important part of it to bring up.
Yeah, that is a good point. Most top producers in the real estate industry, if you go to a top producer and you really want to provide value to them and you think of ways you can give them a gift of time, in exchange for that gift of time, most should be open to wanting to share with you how to continue to grow. Certainly, it's the foundation of the Funk collection and what we're building together with our agents here at EXP. It's truly the North Star. The more we share, the more we grow. And it's a lesson that I didn't always realize. And I'm very grateful today that I now am a part of a group who will show that, whether it's the Inman community, I'm a part of the Tom Ferry community, the EXP community. Coincidentally, it's a lot of really great leaders in the industry, all sharing everything they can to help uplift others, all the while they're continuing to grow.
Exactly, 100%, 100%. And so I kind of want to jump back into your story for a little bit, because it always amazes me when people, kind of like you, they started out smaller just as a realtor, then grow into this huge company like 4 or 5 years down the road, which is super crazy and super inspiring to see. And I think realtors just see it on paper like, oh, they had an easy path coming all the way up. Mm-hmm. So like from your experience, like, did you have any hardships like coming in? Did you have any moments where like, man, this isn't going to work, this team isn't going to work? Or what did that process look like coming to where you're at today?
We have hardships all the time, Will. Any business owner who claims there aren't hardships at every point of scale would not be honest. I've said before, I think that all the honest and really forward-facing business owners and realtors who will tell it like it is will say, if you pull the curtain back, you'll see a circus act behind the curtain. And there would be no reason to imply that it's anything other than that, because as we are scaling and growing, we should always be looking at what we're doing and be saying, okay, if this process has worked thus far, are we going to go into coast mode and assume that's always going to work? Heck no. We have to be assessing at every given point how we can look at our business and say, well, what if that breaks? Or should we go ahead and try to break it because we want to understand what happens when we break it? And the moral of the story is it's every point of scale can be challenging. There's been tons of times, Will, where it feels like everything is going to fall apart. The key is to make sure you're surrounded by great mentors, as you mentioned, who will help you and guide you, who have already traveled the path. So whether it's an agent wanting to grow from no production to $3 million in production, or $3 million to $8 million, $8 million to 15, so on and so forth, at every given benchmark, there's challenges that are inherited with that phase and that season. So what we want to make sure we do is surround ourselves with those who've already traveled the path. I see it a lot with agents that might be in a brokerage who they're the top producer, which top producer is great. This happened to Jeff and I at our previous brokerage. We were the top producers in the brokerage month after month after month after month after month. And I mean like the number one producer. There was no one above us producing higher.
Dang.
That sounds amazing. We were grateful. But who was pouring into us? So every next level we were seeking to achieve was based on our own lessons we needed to learn on our own, as compared to now. There are a number of people around us in our world that are achieving far more than us as far as production and their size of business and scale. We aren't there yet, but we're in the same room and we're learning from those people.
Exactly. Yeah, I love all these points you're bringing up, and it's so smart exactly what you're talking about too. Because for agents that are, they want to improve what you're talking about, they got to break down their systems and try new stuff, or else they're going to be in the same spot to keep doing the same thing. And that transition period where you're trying to switch up your system, seeing if this works or doesn't work, like that's a scary moment that people have a hard time trying to overcome. And just like you're talking about, like once you get to the top, you got to find other people that are still above you, and then just try to keep on growing that way, which is super
right. Cool. And if you find yourself at the top, well, then you better make sure you take those blinders off and there's no coast mode, because that's when you rest on your laurels. And you see it in any industry, right? I mean, you certainly see it in the real estate industry. You can have top producer in an area time after time after time. And what I can assure anyone who's at the top is there's someone coming for you. There's a hungry agent that's on your heels. So that is another reason where you want to look at your processes, look at the service you're providing, ask the questions from your customer, ask the questions from your agents. What are we doing well? What areas of improvement should we be focused on? What's most important to you in your day-to-day? How can we improve the process? These are all critically important to make sure that whatever our role is in the industry, that we are not ever resting on our laurels. I don't believe in coast mode. I think coast mode means there's nothing else coming. Coast mode means you're not paying attention. I believe in being in a very eyes wide open focus to continually look at ways that we can improve our business, therefore improving the business of our agents, therefore improving the experience that the buyers and sellers have.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. There's no like in between kind of thing. And so I kind of want to apply these concepts to kind of where you're at with your business in today's time. So what are your sales looking like this year? Like where are you trying to get to for your sales, and how are you trying to make that transition? Like what are you applying to change where you're at?
So we put up really big numbers for 2021. I mean, I believe in really big things, but I got to say that group of agents, they really surprised me, not because I didn't think they could do it, just because, oh my goodness, wow, I was so impressed to see the way everyone came together. We meet on a regular basis, both in person, we use our cloud office, we use video conferencing, all the things, right? We're getting together, we're collaborating all the time to share what works, what we're breaking, what's not working, what we're fixing, all of the inside information we're sharing to help level up each and every person. As far as what next year looks like very much at least a 50% increase.
Wow. That's crazy.
A lot of our agents are saying they're going to have another double year, right? Double their production. Right. What I know from our agents and at the pace that we're growing is that they are determined, and we as a group are looking at every single way that we can improve their net income, make sure that when they choose to invest capital in their business, that it is on things that will absolutely give them an ROI. And then another trap that we kind of touched on when we first started, Will, is that so many of the realtors should not be spending a dime on anything in their business. When we're doing it right, we can work for a very long time with basically this for free and some sweat equity to build the relationships and build a business that will sustain them for years and years to come.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy, especially the 50% increase you guys are expecting next year. I mean, those numbers are kind of off the charts. I think that brings up another good point where it's kind of exponential growth, like where you're in a business, that first couple of years, you may not see really anything really change within that fourth year might be your year. You know what I mean? So you just kind of got to keep with it until that 1 year kind of happens. And obviously it's working for you guys and those years are happening right now. So that is very cool to see. So that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm very proud of all of us as a group. Very proud.
And so kind of touching on that again, and before we run out of time, like kind of looking at your future, what are some of your like your big goals that you guys want to hit, like for you to be happy like next year? What are those goals that you guys want to hit?
I'll share with you from my lens, and that is the, have you ever chosen a word of the year? A word of the, okay, well, word of the year, I encourage you, if you haven't already done that, it's a really great practice. And it's really, for any business that you have, you should have a North Star. We have a North Star. We're all working in the same direction, guided by the same core values. But also having your individual word of the year is what is the most important focus to you. And my 2022 word of the year is replicate. In 2021, Jeff and I came out of transactional real estate. We still will have, the family members and some of our, sphere of influence who are reaching out to us, and that's perfectly normal. But our promise is to all of those we've worked with is we've now come together and culminated this beautiful group of talented realtors who are looking to grow. And we all very much believe that it is about being specialists in hyper-local areas. We're not road warriors. We don't drive all over. We don't, take customers that are 2 hours away. Our group is focused on hyper-local specialty. So agents who live, work, play, raising families in that market. And so what Jeff and I have done as we transition into 2022 is much of the business that he and I would otherwise be doing is going to be partnered up when able with agents who specialize in each hyper local market. And through that process, it just brought more focus to me of now I have the ability truly to create my primary focus is helping agents replicate their version of what they're building based on the knowledge that we've been able to build together, Jeff and I, and replicate that to as many people who are seeking to grow as possible. So replicate for me is my biggest goal. How many agents can I help grow the business that they're seeking to grow?
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, 100%. That's what makes ESP so attractive as well for the agent interaction, where everything can happen with that side of things. So that'll be super cool to see in the future. I'm sure you guys will accomplish everything you want to, from what I heard from today. So,
and we're super grateful when we look at our buyers and our sellers that we've worked with for years and years and years. What we've promised them and our referral partners that we've worked with over the years is that when you call myself or Jeff, that we're going to have a conversation, a discovery to make sure we fully understand the goals of the buyer or seller you're partnering us with. And then we will only partner them with a specialist who truly understands that market and manage it in one back end. So the segue has been beautiful, and it helps us stay focused on helping more agents grow.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, before we're out of time today, thank you again. You said a lot of really great stuff today. I think our audience is going to absolutely love this episode when it drops. And so before we head off, is there anything else you'd like to say? And if people want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Well, I appreciate it, Will. I love what you're building. I love it. Thank you for giving back. This is another way that you give back to the industry. So kudos to you. And everyone can reach me. I am a big LinkedIn fan, so check me out on LinkedIn and also Instagram. It's at Renee_Funk. Connect with me and let me know how I can help you grow.
Awesome. All right, guys, there you have it. Renee Funk, thank you so much for joining me today.